Now with the latest stories making the headlines this Sunday, it's the ITV News.
Wales through to the knockout stages. Despite losing to Italy, the fans in Rome are celebrating tonight as they finish second in their group. Also, encouraging vaccine take-up gives the government hope on COVID restrictions. And a Father's Day present like no other for a stroke victim saved by a guardian angel.
This is ITV News with Rageh Omaar.
Good evening. In the last hour, Wales have become the first home nation to secure a place in the knockout stages of the Euros. Their 1-0 defeat against Italy in Rome was enough to secure them second place in their group, but it was a difficult watch for the fans that made the journey to Italy, with Wales playing much of the match with 10 men. Lucy Watson was lucky to watch it in Rome.
They are a sight to behold on the streets of Rome. All smiles ahead of the big clash. The Romans lapping up the Welsh charm in a festival of colour. The roar of Wales versus the passion of Italy.
Let's go Italy!
I think we'll do them 1-0. We're progressing and we're going to progress even more. And I think Wales will win.
We've travelled the world to get here, you know. It's such an honour to be here. I'm very proud to represent our country. Come on, the boys.
Thousands of Azzurri fans homed in on the stadium as the Red Army in only their hundreds descended. Wales knew that a win or draw here would guarantee them a place in the knockout stages, and they were fired up to finish the group on a high. Italy shuffled their team, putting on plenty of fresh legs, and when Wales were stretched at the back, some last-ditch defending kept the scores level. But not for long. Verratti's free kick was turned into the Welsh net by Piscina. And the same player almost added another before half-time. Aaron Ramsey, who'd scored against Turkey, had a chance to level it for Wales, but couldn't take it. Then a high challenge by Ethan Ampadu on an Italian ankle, and the Welsh defender was sent off. A man down, Wales were up against it, and Danny Ward had to come to the rescue. Then the moment they should have equalised, but of all people, Gareth Bale wasted it.
Bale puts it over.
It wasn't to be here for Wales tonight. The class and pedigree of Italy reigned supreme, but it was an achievement for the Welsh side to hang on for nearly 40 minutes with just 10 men. They may have lost here this evening 1-0, but they came second in Group A. The knockout stages in Amsterdam now beckon.
Lucy Watson reporting there from Rome. Here, the government says they will consider if restrictions can be lifted earlier than planned in England in light of what they call very positive vaccine data. Again today, thousands of young people lined up to get their first dose, while officials believe they are ahead of schedule for the second jabs. Here's our political correspondent, Hannah Miller.
For months, they've waited for what they see as a shot at freedom. Tottenham Stadium, transformed into a mass vaccination clinic for over 18s, today gave away almost a week's worth of vaccines in a day.
I was just like singing, I'm so excited. Really, I'm so excited because it gives you a lot of opportunities.
I just started university in this whole pandemic, and that kind of ruined the whole experience, so I'm looking forward to getting back to normality again.
It's good. It feels like a sort of free pass for, you know, whatever ends up happening with the summer. At least it's like, you know, the first step to getting me, you know, available to do any of that stuff.
116,000 18 to 24-year-olds have had their first vaccine in the last 24 hours, with the rollout ahead of its target to double jab 2/3 of adults in the next 4 weeks. With 2 doses offering more than 90% protection against going to hospital with the virus, the government's now under pressure to ease restrictions before July the 19th.
I think it was important that we put in that 2-week check, if you like, to tell the public how far we are going. I'm not going to predict precisely what that is going to result in, but it will allow us to look at the emerging evidence, which, with regard to the vaccine, has been very positive.
From tomorrow, wedding venues will be able to offer bigger receptions, with the government also announcing non-religious ceremonies in England and Wales can take place outdoors from July. Welcome news for venues continuing to struggle with restrictions.
The brides and grooms get everybody there, but there is also a huge impact on them because they can't stand up during the drinks reception. They have to eat sitting down. They can't dance unless it's outside. So it's incredibly frustrating. They've all booked bands. What are they going to do?
If the rollout continues like this, ministers' confidence to ease restrictions will receive a boost. As their original date comes and goes tomorrow, they know no one wants to be waiting much longer. Hannah Miller, ITV News.
A family have paid tribute to their 6-year-old girl who died after being struck by a car in Stoke-on-Trent last night. Charlotte Naglis was described as always smiling and full of life. She'd been walking with her father, who was also hit. He's being treated in hospital. The 44-year-old car driver suffered a head injury in the crash. Red Bull's Max Verstappen has won a climactic French Grand Prix to extend his championship lead. The 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton led for most of the race but was caught by the Dutchman on a fresher set of tyres. With only 2 laps to go, Verstappen now holds a 12-point advantage over his Mercedes rival after 7 races. Finally, this Father's Day could have been very different for one family after a dad of 2, Matthew, suffered a stroke. He collapsed in a London street 10 days ago, but a passing stranger ensured he got the medical care he needed. Now his wife's tracked down Matthew's hero to thank her for saving his life, as they told Graham Stothard.
Thank you.
Today was a Father's Day Matt nearly didn't live to see.
How little were you?
10 days ago, he collapsed outside a coffee shop. He didn't know why, but a passerby did. Danny, who he thought was a nurse, knew the signs and called an ambulance. A week later, using social media, he and his wife tracked her down. She wasn't a nurse, just in the right place at the right time.
We reached out and said, is this you? If it is you, I don't even know how to begin to say thank you. Please can we meet you to say thank you properly and to understand how you didn't just walk on by.
Matt was affected by lesser-known symptoms, vomiting and sweating, symptoms they say more people should know about.
I'm feeling incredibly grateful. It is Father's Day, and the best gift you can have on Father's Day is to be with your family. I couldn't ask for any more. I very nearly wasn't.
I think you start seeing the wonder in the ordinary. You realise, Father's Day you don't need to do anything major. You just need to appreciate what you've got.
Is that why you haven't done anything?
Yeah.
OK, I'm just checking.
In a video call this afternoon, they spoke to Danny and agreed to meet for coffee. They'll also donate to a charity of her choosing, just a small token of thanks for helping to save his life. Graham Stothard, ITV News.
A lovely story, and that's it. I'm back with the late news just after 10. Until then, a very good evening.